everyone, welcome back, welcome to a new video, and welcome to another wonderful product of nature. The yin and the yang. If you say the one, you automatically say the other. So white and black, salt and pepper. Let's talk about the yin of salt today, pepper. About salt in a previous video, we mentioned that salt is something very essential for our bodies and that humans cannot live without salt. Contrary to that, pepper, which we're talking about today, is a preference. Now, we may know pepper as a spice or a flavoring to food, but actually pepper is a fruit, and it's a berry of a perennial vine native to India. It grows in clusters, which could be about 16 inches long, and the pepper on it are the little berries. It needs a lot of sun, it needs hot weather and humidity to thrive. Black, white, and green peppers come from the same tree. They are the same berry. The difference is that they are harvested and processed in different ways at different times. And this is what gives them the different color, plus a difference in the taste, which suits different dishes and different cuisines. Like any other item of its kind, pepper has been a precious item throughout history, and it is recorded that it was used a lot in trade, and it affected greatly the economy in ancient times and the trade between Asia and Europe. Today, black pepper still dominates the spice market, with Vietnam, Indonesia, Brazil, and India being the major producers of pepper. According to the World Trade Center in 2016, pepper occupied 1/5 of the world's imported spices. Not all peppers are the same. We hear a lot of times about peppercorns and pink pepper, for example. Those are not really peppers. They don't belong to this category of the plant, and botanically they're not even related to pepper. When we eat pepper, there is a prickly sensation, and I'm sure we all know that, and then there's this burst of heat. So it makes the food spicy, and of course it depends. The more you add into a dish, the more spicy it becomes. The less you put in the dish, the less spicy, but still it gives a very unique flavor. So let's take a closer look at pepper. First of all, let me start with green pepper. In its purest form, the green is simply fresh, unripe pepper berries. And because it's pretty impossible to transport fresh pepper halfway around the world, what we see in the market is that it comes in two forms: freeze-dried or bottled in brine. Now, the flavor of this pepper, of course, because it's still not ripened all the way, is more sweet. It tastes more like a fruit than the other berries, but it's still peppery, of course. Now, as you see here, it's not all green, but I'll pick a few greens so that you can see them. This is the first color it acquires when it's on the vine. Since this is going to ripen, I mean, it's not going to stay green for a very long time. This is why it's difficult to find, and this is why the only green I found was in a blend, but that's okay. So these have been freeze-dried or frozen-dried. And of course, it's the most expensive because it's difficult to be able to transport it or to put it in the trade in another way. Now, black pepper. Black pepper is probably the one, of course, in your shaker. I have it here. The berries of what become black pepper are the ones that are harvested from the green. These green, they are washed and then they are dried in the sun for about 3 to 7 days. So after this curing, they become these peppers, which are tinier and wrinkled black pellets that we all know. And this is the most common form of pepper that we know. The green, because it's more rare, is the most expensive, and the black is the least expensive. And then we have the white pepper. Now, white pepper is the one that's ripened all the way. So it's left on the vine. It's not very known, but it's way different from black pepper, not just in color. It's harvested only when it's ripe, and then it's soaked, so the outer layer is removed, and we're left what's inside the outer layer, which is this creamy color pepper. But as far as spiciness goes, it's more spicy and more hot than the black pepper. Now, this kind of pepper, it has different uses. Of course, it always depends on personal taste, but it has good use in different cuisines. For example, in the French cuisine, where chefs make white creamy sauces, they want to add pepper, but they don't want to add pepper that would change the color of the sauce. So in this case, this pepper comes in quite handy. Now, one thing to remember about pepper is that when you are looking for quality, the quality is designated by the uniformity of the color and the darkness of the color. So when you're looking at the grains, at the berries, they need to be uniform and, of course, a vibrant color. So a good pepper, it's all the same kind of black, or it's all the same kind of cream color, or green color, let's say. We're used to using pepper a lot with salt in savory dishes. So we add salt, we add pepper, but pepper can also be used in other dishes like salads, but also with sweets. So keep that in mind. A couple of other peppers. This is the pink pepper. And actually, pink pepper has no relation to the pepper we've been talking about until now. Pink pepper is an entirely different plant, and it's more related to the cashew family. Yes, the cashew, which is a nut. And this is something important to remember, because if you are using pink pepper, then you need to consider that you're using a nut and not a spice. And this is important if you have an issue with allergies, then this is one thing that you need to consider. They have sort of the same punch, but they're slightly less spicy. They're more delicate as well. And I don't know if some of you notice or remember that pink pepper is also sometimes used for making flower arrangements. And the last that I want to show you is this pepper, which is Sichuan pepper or similar to it. Also not a pepper as we know it. It's the dried fruit of a species of prickly ash tree. The thing with this pepper is that it's very, very hot. It's used a lot in Asian cuisines where spicy food is favorable. It's included in the Chinese 5 spice, and sometimes it's even dry toasted and ground in order to be used. Okay, so what about the nutritional value of pepper? So pepper adds a great flavor to dishes, but does it have any nutritional value? Actually, pepper offers great health benefits. The health benefits of pepper are owed to a bioactive ingredient that it has, a bioactive compound, which is piperine, or piperine, as some people call it. Piperine is the one that gives pepper this pungent taste, but it's the one that gives pepper its health boosting qualities. Piperine is considered an antioxidant, so therefore it reduces the risk of chronic illnesses like atherosclerosis, like cardiac disease, cardiovascular disease, and neurological conditions. But the main thing that we have to remember about pepper is that piperine is the one that affects nutrient bioavailability. What does this mean? It means that when we add pepper in the food, piperine has the ability to draw as much nutrients from the different foods as possible. So it sort of maximizes the absorption of nutrients in the foods. Whether it's difficult for these nutrients to be released from the foods or whether they are found in a form which is not very easily absorbed and digested by the body. This is very important to remember about pepper. Pepper also stimulates hydrochloric acid in the stomach, so it helps in the process of digestion. But it also has carminative processes, which means that it reduces the amount of gas buildup in the digestive tract. Pepper is also good for skin health and hair health. It contains a lot of vitamins like A, C, B, and vitamin K, and it helps people who are trying to quit smoking with the withdrawal symptoms. Plus, it's considered a mood enhancer. So, what would be some really nice ways and simple ways on how to include pepper in our food? First of all, we need to remember that it's always best to grind the pepper instantly when we are serving, either at the end of cooking or if we're going to use it in a salad or a food, like after it's been served, it's recommended that it's best ground on the spot. Now, a lot of times we don't have time for details, so using already ground pepper is absolutely fine. What happens if we add pepper early on in the cooking process is that it sort of blands or hushes the certain different oils that are present in the pepper. So the best thing to do if you want to taste the dish with pepper is you can add a little bit of pepper at the beginning, but mainly the amount that you're going to be using, use it toward the end of the cooking when you are almost cooked your dish and you're about to turn it off. Now, salt may be the one to enhance the flavor of the different foods, and that's why we add it for when it comes to flavor. But pepper is the one that gives it a bold version of itself. It gives it an oomph, let's say. So what's to remember about pepper? First of all, for optimal flavor, store the pepper in jars and in a dark place. This way you're going to have it for at least 1 year. Not that it's going to go bad after a year, but it's sort of going to lose its strong flavor and maybe even its vibrant color. Then try to grind pepper freshly on the food instead of using pepper which you've ground a while back. Pepper contains piperine, which is the one that allows us to take all these benefits from pepper. So use it, experiment with it, because remember, the closer we are to nature, the healthier we are. This is the end of this video. If you like the content, then please click the subscribe button underneath the video so that you can be notified every time there's a new video coming up. Join our Facebook group for discussions and comments and questions. Look us up in Pinterest and Instagram for beautiful photos of all the products that we talk about here. And thank you, and see you next time.